What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries? It's your boy Trey of the Bat Channel, and we have some big news regarding David Ayer's Suicide Squad film, the Batgirl HBO Max movie, and an unfortunate event that happened on set of the Flash movie.
You can be my best of friends as opposed to paying dues, but don't nobody bring me no bad news.
Apparently, on the set of the Flash movie, while they were filming that new Batfleck bike chase scene with the Hummer, kind of the leaked photos that we've seen, one of the camera operators collided with the Batman stunt double and went under the bicycle. So the production was halted. Paramedics were rushed on set. Kind of a really freak accident, which these scenes do happen, especially with these action-packed scenes. We're wishing the camera operator well. Hopefully he's able to make a speedy recovery, but definitely an unfortunate situation that production has been halted because of this.
How bad are you?
I'm still alive.
Good. Stay that way.
Just a few hours ago, David Ayer responded to a chain of tweets that were in promotion of the new Suicide Squad film that James Gunn is doing. As you know, it's coming out next weekend, and a lot of press have been able to get their hands on the early release of the film so they could give their reviews. And it sounds like for the most part, the reviews have been positive, which is kind of interesting. But one guy in particular, Tim Grierson, who started this whole long Twitter exchange. He's a senior U.S. critic for Screen Daily, and he had started this tweet that said, well, here's something I didn't expect to write. I really love the Suicide Squad, and he gave his review on it. I have no idea who this person is, but this other guy happened to say, a nice reminder that David Ayer really is one of the worst studio filmmakers in a long time, which is
you about to cross some fucking lines.
Guys, relax.
complete utter bullshit. But Tim responded to that tweet and said, many times while watching the new movie, I thought, yeah, David Ayer should just abandon the idea of that director's cut. Which, no.
No! 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 No!
And David Ayer had responded to this chain of tweets with this really long note that had a lot of heartfelt stuff about his life that I recommend you guys reading, but we'll get to the main specific part where he talks about Suicide Squad. And he says, I put my life into Suicide Squad. I made something amazing. My cut is intricate and emotional journey with some bad people who are shit on and discarded, a theme that resonates in my soul. The studio cut is not my movie. Read that again. Okay. The studio cut is not my movie. And my cut is not the 10-week director's cut. It's a fully mature edit by Lee Smith standing on the incredibly work by John Gilroy. It's all Stephen Price's brilliant score with not a single radio song in the whole thing. Interesting. It has traditional character arcs, amazing performances, and a solid third act resolution. A handful of people have seen it. If someone says they have seen it, they haven't. So yeah, should be clear by now, I don't have any quit in me. Never have, and why would I? Every day breathing is a gift. I thought my story was going to end in a grave or a cell long ago. So these I'm living are bonus rounds. I'm so honored and blessed to have the career I do. Quit? After my kids watch me come home every day after the studio took over the edit with my heart torn out, who would I be to them if I quit? I've never told my side of the story and I never will. Why? Same reason no one ever will know what happened on my submarine. I keep my covenants. I'm old school like that. So I kept my mouth shut and took the tsunami of sometimes shockingly personal criticism. Why? That's what I've done my whole life. Real talk, I'd rather get shot at. I'm so proud of James, he's talking about James Gunn, and excited for the success that's coming. I support Warner Brothers and thrilled the franchise is getting the legs it needs. I'm rooting for everyone, the cast, the crew. Every movie is a miracle, and James' brilliant work will be the miracles of miracles. I appreciate your patience. I will no longer speak publicly on this matter. Yeah, man, this is some crazy stuff that, and even James Gunn had responded to it basically saying all my love and admiration, friend, to David Ayer. So you can see there's clear support between the two directors. And I know the Snyder Cut community and even the Ayer Cut community is kind of like, well, boycott the Suicide Squad film, which is absolutely fine. You guys are entitled to do what you want to do. But this is what directors do. They support each other because they're just co-workers, collaborators and colleagues, all trying to create the best story possible for the big screen. And whether you support, what James Gunn is doing in his film, James Gunn can certainly support what David Ayer was trying to do with his film before it was torn apart by Warner Brothers. So it's very unfortunate to see that a lot of critics and bloggers have took the Suicide Squad film that David Ayer was attached to and tried to personally attack him as a person and as an artist for his direction of the film, yet it wasn't his film, which is all the more the reason why Warner Brothers needs to just go ahead and release the Ayer cut. I know they're waiting probably for James Gunn to have his Suicide Squad film come out this next weekend, and to see how that does before they release the Ayer cut. So hopefully we'll get an announcement at DC Fandom this year, I believe in October, but it's time to see the original vision that David Ayer had for the Suicide Squad. I actually watched the original San Diego Comic-Con trailer this morning, and the tone difference of what we got in the film versus that trailer, it was really something different. And honestly, I think it would have had a bigger impact with all the characters, and people would have loved Harley Quinn's character even more. So it's cool to see James Gunn showing support this way for David Ayer. But, for all these personal attacks that David Ayer has been getting, a lot of people coming out and saying, because of James Gunn's film, his David Ayer's cut's probably shitty, and, what he did with the Suicide Squad film already was crap. And it's like, well, you didn't see his cut, so you can't say his shit sucked. I mean, it's just like Justice League when Josh Whedon took over. You couldn't say, oh my God, Zack sucks as a director. Josh Whedon cut it up, and so did Warner Brothers, and they did all that shit. And now look at Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's a vastly toned different film, and it's incredible compared to Justice League, right? Like, we don't even talk about Justice League anymore. So very unfortunate that David Ayer had to go through that bullshit, but I'm always here to support any director's vision to get out there. So hashtag release the Ayer cut. Let's get it going. August 5th is that big social media event.
Let's go save the world.
Now let's go ahead and get into the other Hollywood Reporter article that has my mind blown.
Unrecognizable.
So, as you guys have heard us talk about, in I think even Hollywood Reporter did this article before too, when they announced the Batgirl HBO Max movie that was recently casted with Leslie Grace. Originally, that article said that they were looking to cast a different James Gordon. They were going to cast a villain that kind of sounded like it was going to be Firefly. So it was going to be its own thing. It wasn't going to connect to anything, which is interesting. Yet an article just came out with the headline, Batgirl movie, JK Simmons is in talks to return to Batman universe as Commissioner Gordon. What?
What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
What?
English, motherfucker! Do you speak it?
Yes.
This is getting more and more interesting because I know I used to think this way too. I used to think, well, HBO Max and Warner Brothers, they're part of the same company. They're all part of Warner Media. So they're going to have to work together. Like, I would think Warner Media would tell, HBO Max how to do their shit. And what we're kind of seeing is HBO Max is kind of doing their own thing. And a perfect example of that is JJ Abrams is working on a Black Clark Kent Superman film, which no one wants that.
Surprise. Get that card out of my face!
And people would have preferred a Val Zod Superman. So HBO Max went out to Michael B. Jordan and his production company and said, would you do a series for us as Val Zod Superman? And that is now happening, which people are stoked for over the movie. I think the Black Clark Kent J.J. Abrams Superman project is going to get canceled. The fact that there's more excitement for an HBO Max thing rather than a actual cinematic film that's supposed to be released in theaters is not a good sign. So that was kind of a great example to show HBO Max is kind of allowed to do their own thing and not listen to exactly what Warner Brothers wants. So here is this exclusive from from the Hollywood Reporter. It was written by Boris Kitt that says JK Simmons is coming back to the Bat Beat. The Oscar-winning actor is in the negotiations to reprise the role of classic Batman character Commissioner James Gordon in Batgirl. Warner Brothers feature for HBO Max as casting up swiftly. The In the Heights breakout Leslie Grace nabbed the titular role last week. Bad Boys for Life filmmakers Adil El Arbi and Bala Falah are directing from a script by Christina Hodson, the DC mainstay behind Birds of Prey and the upcoming The Flash. Kristen Burr is producing. This is like some of the craziest news I've heard, because to me it's like, well, this was originally supposed to be its own thing. And if JK Simmons is coming back, well, that's Batfleck's James Gordon.
You saying what I think you're saying?
That's a connection to the Snyderverse in a way, because yeah, you could say, well, technically that was in Justice League too. Sure. But Ben Affleck in his original Batfleck movie that he was creating, Batgirl was supposed to appear in that. She was supposed to be revealed in that film fighting Deathstroke. And then here J.K. Simmons is playing James Gordon. And we know J.K. Simmons has wanted to continue with this character, but here's something I didn't quite know. Simmons was cast as Gordon by Zack Snyder for 2017's Justice League and appeared in added material for the filmmaker's recently restored cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League. In 2019, this is the part I didn't know, the actor said in an interview with Entertainment Tonight that he had signed on to play the role for 3 movies and hoped to return to the character at one point. I hope there's more of that in the future, Simmons said. Looks like Bat wishes can come true.
It's like that Jiminy Cricket song. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. And when you wish upon a star, your dreams come true.
This is just crazy. You guys got to let me know in the comments. What do you think about this? Is this HBO Max's way of saying that they are kind of continuing the Snyderverse? I mean, according to Mikey Sun on Geekosity, he is fully convinced, from Sil Abdul's show that we've heard him talk on, that the Batfleck movie is going to happen with Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke. They are going to have it on HBO Max. He's convinced of it. And if J.K. Simmons is coming back to do this Batgirl project, or at least is in talks to do it, then does that open the doors with Ben Affleck having a little bit of a bigger role than expected on the Flash film? Because a lot of people said, oh, he's just going to be Bruce Wayne. He's just there to set it up and to show the difference of when Michael Keaton takes over the DCU. But like we just saw in the leaked photos, he's getting suited up again. He's going to have a very huge role in the Flash. And not only that, there's now talks about, well, he's going to meet Michael Keaton's Batman. And there was, some things that he might even have a little bit of a tuffle with Michael Keaton's Batman, which is a crazy thought to think of too.
Surprised to see me? A little. I'm more surprised that I lived so long.
Batman, Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, Batman. Or have you met?
Not now.
Great. What did they used to call it? Stereo?
So there's a lot happening over at HBO Max. HBO Max is doing their own thing regardless of what Warner Brothers wants, which to me, that now that J.K. Simmons may be a part of this Batgirl HBO Max, originally I was kind of unsure of it. But the fact that Batgirl, is going to have J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon, to me, that's a great way to build a connection to this character of when you see her arrive in the Batfleck movie that's supposed to happen. That's intriguing. I'm just going to say like that. Yes.
Yes.
If this is the case, this is so exciting. But let me know in the comment sections what you guys think about the possibility of JK Simmons returning as Commissioner Gordon in the Batgirl HBO Max movie. It's some crazy shit for sure.
For show.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe, and that notification bell so you never miss an episode. I'm your host, Trey, and don't forget to tune in weekly. Same bat time, same bat channel.